So guys, I want to say hi. Hi there, my name is Lakhanya. I am the founder of the Lakhanya Foundation. The Lakhanya Foundation was basically founded back in 2018 when I lost my stillborn son, Lakhanya. And Lakhanya wasn't my first loss. My previous pregnancy also resulted in loss back in 2017 at 16 weeks. So the reason I started the foundation was that I found that loss and grief was very silencing, very isolating, very lonely. And I wanted to give families that were going through loss a platform of support, of awareness, of breaking their silence, giving support in that time of loneliness, and basically to break the stigma and the taboo that is pregnancy loss, miscarriages, and ectopic pregnancies, any pregnancy that results in other than a baby. So basically the reason that you guys are here today is because this is Lakhanya Foundation's first virtual healing workshop, and I really hope that this is just the first of many. Basically, when I started thinking about my own healing process and my own journey, I kept asking myself, what are you healing from? Because I kept having these psychological breakdowns every time I think that I'm okay. So I needed to then dissect all of my trauma and all my pain. Yonela, what are you healing from? And what the crux of it was that we are all healing from something, right? We've all experienced pain, trauma in different aspects of our lives. And some of that pain and some of that trauma we've buried within ourselves, right? And what I've learned is that in each season of healing, you have to go to war with your pain and your trauma in your moments of weakness. And that sometimes means you have to lift up that carpet in which your pain has been buried under, and basically to acknowledge your trauma. So what I've also found is that in tethering my healing to my faith, I found a strength within myself that I never knew I had. And what I hope that this workshop will give you guys is something to hold on to, some tools that in hearing Zizo's experience, in hearing Katie's experience, you'll be able to take some tools from their experiences that can help you embark on your own journey. Because sometimes we find that when we start healing others as well. So that's what I hope that this workshop and this space can do for you guys. So without taking any more of your time, I'm going to start with the first speaker, Zizo. Zizo is joining us all the way, actually she's right here. She's joining us from South Africa, and she is a rape survivor and a beautiful writer and author. So I'm just gonna let her tell her story to you guys. Let me just try and unmute Zizo. I need you to check your audio settings, love. Okay. There you go. Just another thing before Zizo starts speaking, if you have any questions or comments for Zizo, please direct them to the chat section below, and Zizo will then respond or answer everything that you commented on or questions you asked after she's done talking. You can go ahead, love.
All right. Hey guys, I hope everyone is good. Hello from South Africa. from anyone who's not from here. I'm really grateful to Yonela for giving me this opportunity to come and share my story with you guys, hoping that when this is done, you'll go back and reflect and think, oh my gosh, like I like whatever it is that I'm healing, I'm trying to heal from, I can actually do it. So yeah, so my story now, I'll just it's just a bit of there and there and there. So I was raped by my father from a tender age of 7 years until I was 13. I got pregnant, and that is how it got to go out. People knew about it, and for me, my father and I, before him raping me, we had a very good relationship, and things were going well between us. And I didn't. So when he started raping me, I thought this was what he was supposed to do anyway, you know. So I didn't think it was wrong. I didn't think it was something that he was not supposed to be doing. But life carried on, you know. And but I do not want to dwell on mostly on how it happened and all of that now, because we are on talking about our healing journeys, you know. So that is what I want to talk about mainly. So I find out that my dad is in jail, and he did this to me, and I don't even know. It's like in 2007, no one is vocal about these things. So I had to look it up on Google to see what is rape and what does this mean, you know. So it shocked me finding out the results of what actually this is. I was so shocked, and I just couldn't fathom how one person could do this to another person, especially your father. So but life needed to continue. Life needed to continue. And as time went by, I went through depression. I was sick and all of that. But then there was a day that I was like, God, I'm tired of feeling the way that I'm feeling now. You need to do something. It's either when I try to commit suicide again, please let it happen. Because in the past, I've been trying, but you know, it doesn't happen. So what is your purpose for me? You know, and I know your word. I know you say that you have plans for me. What are those plans? Because now I don't see myself as someone who's prospering, as you say in your word, but no, you have plans for us to prosper. I'm failing, you know, I'm doing the opposite. So you need to come through for me, you know, and show me what my purpose is. And God was like, I want you to heal other people, you know, and mainly for me, I want you to teach people about forgiveness. And I was like, what? Okay, what do you mean when you want me to teach people about forgiveness? And he also revealed to me that you cannot start teaching people about forgiveness when you yourself haven't forgiven. And that blew my mind. I was like, what, you expect me now to go say I've forgiven to this person, and it's been 10 years, and he's never asked for an apology, you know. He's never asked for forgiveness. How am I supposed to forgive this person? But God, really, when he says that, I know the plans for you, like he gave me like a thorough plan on how to do it. And I got to realize that whatever pain that you go through in your past, you do not have to lose someone. You do not have to, you know, fight for someone. But we all fight grief. We all experience grief. Even if the grief that I had to experience was losing my innocence in the hands of someone who was supposed to be protecting it, if I can put it that way. I'm losing myself, you know. I had to grieve, and I had to go through the 5 stages of grief, you know. I had to accept, I had to, you know, for me to start my healing journey, I needed to be able to know what is it that I need to heal from. So I needed to, there's grief that I needed to work through. I needed to work through knowing that this person will never come and apologize to me. I have to imagine myself. I had to imagine him being seated in front of me asking him to say sorry, you know, for me to be able to be like, okay. And what also God showed me was just the secret of forgiveness, you know, because many people don't know what forgiveness is. They just think, okay, I'm never going to forgive because this person didn't say sorry. But we need to understand that forgiveness is for yourself. In as much as we would want for it to be about the other person, but it's not really. So what we needed to do is to be real. You needed to be real about the facts, and just know that this person is not going to come to you and say I'm sorry. So you have to work on yourself and your heart and your body, and say, well, okay, I forgive myself. Maybe if I hadn't done this, I hadn't done that, maybe it would have been better. I would have been able to just blaming yourself, the self blame, the stages of grief, like blaming yourself, you know in denial. You're also in denial of everything, just wishing that everything just didn't happen, but it did happen, and now we just have to find ways of moving on from all of that. So that is what I was basically healing from, healing from the pain that was caused by someone else on me, and having to know that whatever happened was not my fault. The denial, I needed to accept that whatever happened now is never going to change. Whether I don't know, whether I whether I fly to Mars and come back, it will come back as I will come back. It will be like, this person still did this to me. So now how do we move on from that? And then once you get to know what forgiveness is, once you get past the grieving stages, then you're like, okay, wow, I can actually face the world. I can actually be able to maneuver around other things that make me, and that's when you start seeing yourself, but I'm beautiful. I am, the curves that he saw, that he felt that were his, he owned them. They are actually mine. They make me who I am. I should embrace them, knowing how pretty you are, because when you are going through abuse, when you're going through grief, you suppress your talents, you suppress a lot of things that make you you. So once you get over that, you don't get over it, but once you get over those stages, you're like, oh wow, you surprise yourself every day, and you fall in love with yourself like every single day, and you're like, oh, geez, wow, like Zizo, you are such a beautiful woman, and you have such great potential, and you are going somewhere, and all you want now is to help other people. Because once you go through something, you want to talk to people, you want to hear people who have been through the same thing. I remember when I was going through psychologists, and I was like, oh no, this person, they just learned, about this at school, so they don't really know what is going on. But I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, let me just do it because people say I must do it, and you go there for the sessions. But once you meet people who have been through pain, who are healing from something, who have been through rape, you're like, oh wow, did you really feel worthless? Did you really feel, all of that? And with me, I also got to learn that what my father did to me, I can't have kids again. There's that. But now I'm like, but just because I'm a woman, having a kid doesn't define me. It doesn't. Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't have to. I have to have a child. But okay, now that you have a child, she's defined by having a child. I even wrote a book. So here's my baby. There's a foundation. I've got this going on. I'm starting a YouTube channel. Like, I've got lots of babies. Behind me. I don't have to have conceived them in my belly. I just know that okay, there's this, I need to help other people. There are other babies that are growing up. They need to look up to me and say, wow, I was also raped, and look at her, look at how beautiful she is, look at how she was able to do all of this. So healing is just a complete a journey that doesn't end. You heal every single day, and all you want every day when you have healed, I just want to go help. I want to go help. Oh, there's a meeting there, I want to be part of it. Oh my gosh, is there this? I want to be part of it. Because you feel like you also want people to feel the same way that you are feeling. But you need to know that the world doesn't end there. The world definitely doesn't end. You need to know that it doesn't. You being raped by anyone, or you not being able to do anything, it doesn't define Zizo Apleni. Oh guys, did I introduce myself?
Don't
Anyway,
worry. I
okay.
introduced you. Don't worry.
Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry. So that's just how it is to know who Zizo Apleni is. And I remember now that I'm saying my name, like my grandmother gave me the name Uzizo Isabelo Zam, which means these are my divine shares. So it just goes to everyone. I am a share of everyone. Like everyone can have a part of me, you know. So these are also things that define who I am. They just make me me. Like you can't look at me now, you can see, but oh, it's that girl who wrote a book who was raped by her father. But when I get to speak, you don't hear that. I get to know about, I have forgiven my father. I am happy about where he is, what he's doing with his life now. What I want to do now is to concentrate on myself, on bettering myself and becoming the woman that God has wanted me to be always. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. You are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Like you are the epitome of strength. You are the epitome of courage. I'm inspired by your story. Like, every time you post, I'm there.
Yeah,
Every time,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I am inspired. That's why I asked you to be part of this, because I think to experience that much trauma and pain and then have the courage to do everything that you're doing now
Yeah,
and be
yeah,
where you are in your healing journey and say, this is my story and this is my experience and I am healing from it is amazing.
yes, yeah,
It's beautiful, Zizo. So
definitely.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to know if anyone has any questions for Zizo, because I have one, but before I I don't want to be a dictator here. So I have a question for Zizo, but I'd like if anyone has a question or a comment or just wants to say something to Zizo, um, they can have the floor. Oh, okay, so Day says, don't know if you can see the question that Day asked, but she asked, what daily practices do you use to continue to grow into the woman God wants you to be?
I feel like I don't want to say the typical daily, but for me, I know I wake up every day, say my prayers, say read my devotional quotes or whatever, just something, because when you are healing, you have those days that you're like, actually, yes, I was raped and I feel so sorry for myself. I don't know what to do, you know. So there are those things that you need to do to motivate yourself to carry on, because it's not easy. I don't want to lie, it's not easy, but you need to have those things that, so on a daily, I'm that girl but I surround myself with people that I love. I surround myself with people that bring positivity into my life, you know. So, and what I've learned now with what is going on in South Africa now, gender-based violence, I try by all means for me to be happy to block out things from social media, you know, like, just because now that if you concentrate so much on, not that you are ignorant towards what is happening, but just to save yourself from going back to that deep dark hole of depression and thinking, oh, now and whatnot. So I just try myself, I concentrate on feeding my soul with what is good, you know, and just learning to know what God wants me to do every single day and listening to God. Like, for example, I have this YouTube channel. People were telling me, start a YouTube channel, but I've been telling them, you know, these things you have to pray for. You can't just, people are saying start a YouTube channel and you also go and start. What if God is not planning that for you? So you need to listen to what God says. So that just what's helped me on a daily, listening to God, talking to me and doing what he wants me to do.
Thank you so much. There's a hand up, so if you have, just gonna lower your hand and you can ask your question, okay?
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, you can.
Right, okay, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Sino from South Africa, Eastern Cape Province. So thank you, Zizo, for sharing your story with us. My question is, in your presentation, I heard you saying something about the 5 stages of grief, or the 5 stages of healing. I just want to check whether maybe you got those from a book, or if you can be able to share with us those just briefly, those 5 stages of grief, and if there are any books that maybe you used that helped you through the healing process, can you please just share with us those books? Because I'm also I'm also in a healing process. I'm healing from my father's death, the way he was made at home in February this year. He was shot at home, and it was only the two of us that time. So there are days where I would just feel like, you know what, I just can't believe what I saw. And there are days where I'll feel like when I'm getting at home, because he was shot by the gate. So whenever I have to go in or get out of our yard, and then I'll actually think like, this is where I lost my father. His blood was right here, and I just can't believe how could people can come and actually shot someone to death, someone that they don't even know. Perhaps they were hired to shot the person. So I'm also in that process. So I would just like you to share those with us. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So I can't say that I was given, you know, I read these stages of grief anyway. First of all, I experienced them myself. So when my psychologist or people were talking about it, I was like, oh wow, I also went through that. So firstly, when something happens to you, you are shocked, like you are shocked as in, what did that happen? Like you are in the shocked stage, but okay, what is this? And then when you it's I'm not going to put it like in chronological order, because it goes either way for people, you know. So there's, you are shocked, you are in denial, you are angry, you are and then you come to accept what has happened to you, and then you deal with it. You know, that's how the stages of grief came to me. So I was shocked finding out what exactly my father did to me, how much of a big deal it was, because I was only a kid. I did not know about it. And when I was pregnant, I was shocked in finding out my pregnancy. And then there was the waves of denial. Maybe I should have not have gone to him during that holiday. Maybe I should not have done this, the way I was wearing and all of that. Those are the denial stages where you wish you could have done this, you wish you could have done that. And then you come to a stage, you bargain, you know. Bargaining also is also part of it. I wish I could have done something to not lure him into my body or whatever, you know. And you have to come to acceptance. You have to accept and be like, okay, so this happened, now what do we do, you know? Because as I said, you need to know that these things happened and they were planned for it to happen by God, but you need to know, how do we move on? How do we move on from it? And life carries on. And then there's forgiveness. You have to forgive this person. And where one person can hurt you today and you forgive them tomorrow. And one thing we need to understand, as I said earlier, forgiveness is not for the other person, because many of us were done things by people, but they never came to apologize to us. But because of your peace and your sanity, you have to think, okay, I need to forgive this person. Because me, for example, I had to put my dad on an empty chair, and I'll be like, dude, I am tired of being angry at you. I am tired of having this pain and resentment towards you. So I'm letting it all go. You take it, do whatever. And there are so many exercises that a person can do, like we've been given. You can write the name of the person on a plate and just throw the plate on the floor. You know, all that anger that you have towards the person. Take paper plates, write the names of the person, burn them, so that you know that you've released the pain that you have towards the person and you're able to move on. Because the reason why many people are afraid are not starting their healing journeys is because they have still got a lot of baggage behind them. They have not dealt with a lot of things. So that is how you need to do it. It hurts. I don't want to lie. Going back there hurts. It hurts a lot because you might think, okay, I'm over it. But going back there, you need to go, for you to be able to go through the denial stage, you need to go back to when you were young, when to that day that it happened, you know, you need to know, but I did have to take a bath. I did have to go there. I did have to do this because it's how God wanted it to happen. Because, and we need to know that purpose is not for you, it's for God. So, and there's nothing that God does without having a purpose for it. He wouldn't allow these things to happen to us without him having a bigger picture of what he wants for us. I hope I have given a clear.
Thank you so much, Zizo. There's another question from Katie, which is basically similar to what I was going to ask as well, which is what's your relationship like with your father now? And Katie also says that also, I just want to say how amazing you are. Your strength is so inspiring.
Thank you so much for that question. So, my relationship with my father now, like, you know, when like things of God, they just have their own, you know, like they just have their own way how they go. Like, I'm like, people need to know that, not even people, like I needed to know myself that whatever a person does to you, especially if it's a you know, with my dad, we had a relationship. When he was not raping me, he was an amazing father. You know, that's what I always tell people. When that guy was not raping me, he was an amazing father. So God erased all of the pain that when I said, okay, God, I'm forgiving this person, he erased the pain and left me with this feeling that this person is my father. And if you are a saved woman and you, even a man, Paul, you go through the Bible, you hear, how can you honor your mother and your father if you hate them? You know, you cannot honor people that you hate. So what the scripture says, it says, Zizo, honor your mother and your father so that your days on the earth are longer, you know? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to die young. So let's just do this, you know? Let me forgive this guy. Let me honor him. Not, but you know, like our relationship is like, it's not like we talk every day. I call him and all of that. He is in prison now, but whenever, if I had a chance to see him, it wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, I'm angry at you. You did this, you did this, because he did confess that he did what he did. And he finally, after 10 years, he asked for forgiveness. So I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, I need to fix me. So he needs to fix himself. So we need to get this going. Now we can't be like, oh, I hate him, because the moment I say I hate him and I'm angry at him, there's no progress that I'm doing with myself. So we do have a relationship of that sort, but we do talk. We are, okay, let me just say, we are civil towards each other.
Thank you for answering that, Zizo. Aviva also has something to say. She says, I want to just say that your story has inspired many, and I hope and pray you flourish into the woman God has destined you to be, sending you so much love and prayer.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Zizo, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. This is the main aim of us being brought together today, is that um, we need to ask ourselves, what are we healing from? And we all have something to heal from. We all have pain, whether it be childhood trauma, whether it be trauma we've experienced as adults. But as soon as we start dealing, and as soon as we start acknowledging that pain, um, then that's when the eternal journey of healing can start, because it doesn't start and end at a point. Um,
No.
it's continuous and it's inconsistent, just like the stages of grief. It's inconsistent. So you'll be happy, you'll have your good days and you'll have your bad days, but it's a process. As long as we know that healing is a process and it's inconsistent, it comes in waves. There's no direct start and end point to it. It fluctuates. And we need to just be able to live with that and be able to look forward to life, knowing that that process is ongoing in our lives. So I just want to say
Yeah,
thank you, Zizo.
my pleasure, Yonela. Thank you so much.